Liverpool have broken ancient records and Manchester United hearts. What does this mean for Liverpool going forward and Manchester United going forward? I really, really don't know. Let's focus on a Manchester United perspective, Addy. In terms of who Manchester United are, where they want to be, it felt like this time last week they were on cloud nine.
Yeah.
Eric Ten Hag was getting everything right. It felt like he was the perfect manager and in line to be manager of the year.
Still that. Still on that. Still on that train.
There is, however, some jeopardy because I think results of this nature can be so significant on your aspirations for the season, can't they?
Yeah, because you start looking at key personnel and you wonder about them. Like you wonder about Bruno Fernandes as captain, and I'm sure we're going to get into that. You wonder about Anthony. Eric Ten Hag has got so much right, but he clearly got a lot wrong yesterday. Dalot playing right back. Dalot versus Nunes. It's only one winner. Nunes versus Wan-Bissaka, that's a whole different discussion because Wan-Bissaka will match him for pace and power and everything. Anthony, I don't see it. Honestly, I don't see it. And look, we're so quick to rate players and we're so quick to underrate players. I'm not quick to judge him. He's not what they think he is. So there's a few things Eric Ten Hag got wrong, but he's got so much right.
Yeah.
He's got so much right. And I know he'll handle what happened yesterday. He'll
Do you
handle
think?
it. Yeah, he'll go into the changing room. I just saw him and I could just see him seething. I know he's going to that change room, locking the door, and some people getting bashed up.
Yeah.
Not physically, but he's verbally destroying a few there. So I think they'll get over it. They was never going to win the league. They were never going to win the league. No, they weren't. They weren't going to win the league.
I don't think you can do that.
They weren't going to win
I don't think you can. They were unlikely to win it.
Okay, unlikely.
They were unlikely to win it, but if they'd beaten
Very
Liverpool,
unlikely.
I think they're in a title.
Yeah, very unlikely. The two at the front don't stop winning. And Manchester United, who hadn't stopped winning, have now hit a blip. But I think they're still on track for Europa League. They've got Real Betis next. They're still on track for the FA Cup. Man United won the season well. Yesterday was a massive blip, but I don't think it'll affect their aspirations in terms of trophies going forward.
Well, there are some results against some clubs that can be so traumatic that they can derail a season. They can change the institution. They can derail everything that's going on. That can happen. Yeah. I remember when Chelsea put 6 past Arsenal, it really affected Wenger. It really affected the institution that is Arsenal. It really affected the fans and the players. Eric Ten Hag, up until this point, I think has got everything right. Every big decision.
Everything.
We've explored this before. Whatever it is, whether it's Harry Maguire dropping him, whether it's bringing in Martinez, whether it's putting Luke Shaw at centre-half, whether it's dropping Cristiano Ronaldo, making sure that he doesn't feature, whether it's bringing in Garnacho, whether it's dropping Marcus Rashford, every single thing he has got right. And I think, therefore, he deserves the benefit of the doubt here. We can assume that he will get this right as well. There is, however... This is uncharted territory. Manchester United haven't lost to Liverpool like this since the 30s, pre-war. And some results, not only because of the scoreline, the margin of the defeat, but I think crucially, the opponent that inflicts it can be so damaging.
Especially when you consider where that opponent is now.
Yes.
Liverpool, in my eyes and a lot of people's eyes, have fallen off a cliff a little bit. So this is a time when Man United were going to Anfield for the first time in 10 years, where some people were thinking they're going to win. Yes. I never thought that. I never thought they're going to go to Anfield and win, but I can understand why some people did. Marcus Rashford, the most informed striker in Europe. Casemiro, the most informed midfielder. And you know what I mean? So they had so many ticks going their way. And look, I'm with you. You can't go to your arch rivals, your nemesis, and lose like that. I get that. But I still think there's enough strong-minded people in that squad. Not Bruno Fernandes. I'm going to talk about him in a minute, but the Casemiros, Lisandro Martinez's, Ten Hag more importantly, where you almost brush it off. And I think they will, and I think they'll beat Real Betis comfortably. So I think there's enough in there to see them get over the line. I don't think it's going to affect them the way we think it will do.
I think that he got an awful lot wrong, and I think it could.
Ten Hag.
Yeah, I think it could also have lasting ramifications. Up until this point, Luke Shaw has been brilliant. We've been full of nothing but praise for Luke Shaw. He played centre half against Erling Haaland, and he shone. I don't think Erling Haaland had a shot on goal.
Yeah,
he was reduced to a quivering wreck by Mohamed Salah. He was given an education. And Luke Shaw is a man that we know from previous exploits, previous issues, Jose Mourinho's words, that Luke Shaw is a slightly more fragile.
Yeah, saw it yesterday.
Person.
Like to the point where a couple of nicks at players, Darwin Núñez, little kick in the back. Him and Trent went at it a couple of times as well. Him and Andy Robertson went at it.
That Salah fight, I mean, he was so battered.
By the way, though, that was I mean, I know Salah had a good game against Man City. That was Mo Salah. That was vintage Salah yesterday.
Mate, did you see what he did to Martinez?
Turned him inside out.
Mate, that was so bad.
Literally, Martinez was going the other way.
He fell over.
He
fell over.
Didn't slip.
No, he
fell
didn't
over.
slip. No,
didn't slip.
He lost his legs. He lost his
didn't know what to
footing.
do.
I couldn't
That
believe
was Salah. Salah, Gakpo and Darwin Núñez were all on fire. Like literally, you're talking 9s and 10s. And I don't care what defence you are. If all three are firing, there's going to be trouble. One sometimes fires, the other two sometimes just wither into thin air. But all three, it's going to be difficult.
The quality of the goals. But do you know, from a Manchester United perspective, I think there were just too many anonymous people, too many anonymous players. People don't want to say this, and people aren't going to like this.
Uh-oh.
Do we need to, like, Casemiro got loads of credit the week before.
Yeah.
Man of the match in
Was he carrying a niggle?
Potentially.
After he had a run, and after about 5 minutes, he kind of done a little grimace. I don't want to sort of find excuses for him because everyone has been saying he's the best defensive midfielder. Me and you were arguing on the club when you guys and you and Booby were like, yeah, he's this and he's that, and I'm like, well, let's pump the brakes a little bit. You know what I mean? Let's see what he can do. And maybe it was one of those games where Jordan Henderson, Fabinho were hearing all this talking for, okay, you're coming to our home turf. Let's see what you can do. Because we've been doing this over here for 5 or 6 seasons.
Yeah.
You've had a good 5 months. We've been doing this for 5 or 6 seasons. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
And I think both of them had him. I think both of them won that midfield battle.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Casemiro, Bruno and Fred got outdone by Harvey Elliott, Fabinho and Henderson.
Battered. Yeah.
Energy,
I can't believe
runs.
it. Also, Casemiro, everything that we've been, like, even in just the past 7 days, everything that Casemiro is supposed to be. He's supposed to be the personality. He's supposed to be the front. He's supposed to be the hard man, the bravery. He wasn't. He was anonymous when his team needed him most. And look, you want to flag a knock. Maybe he had a knock. But he certainly had a knock to his pride.
Yeah, this is the kind of game where you got to fight. This is where sometimes it's not a case of footballing. Not footballing goes out the window because ultimately it's football, isn't it? But sometimes this is where second balls, little nicks off this player. Let's put. I remember Roy Keane famously said, "Sometimes you know what? I want to kick someone, just to get my own sort of game going." And I expected a bit of that from Casemiro as well, and we got none of it.
Because it's a derby. Yeah. It's not a derby in the true sense of the word. I appreciate that's misleading and annoying. It isn't a derby, but it's a fierce rivalry. It's a fierce rivalry. Tribal as it gets. 2 cities with a load of history between them.
Yeah.
There is so much at stake.
Yes.
And it is emotional. Yeah. It's emotional in the terraces. It's emotional on the pitch. Liverpool seemed to embrace that. Liverpool seemed to know that it was that. Whereas Manchester United just seems so pedestrian. Yeah. They seem to get it so wrong. And look, overall, I probably do agree that they're going to be fine. It's a blip. It's a terrible state of affairs. But ultimately, they will be okay. But I also think that a result like this can be just so damaging.
Yeah, I mean, look, it exposes a lot. There's no way you can't sort of open it up in the morning and Ten Hag will look at the tape and think, okay, 1 second. This isn't just a 7-0. Did we get exposed here? Have we sort of started labelling these players as the best in the world too quick? Do we need to kind of look at what we're doing here? Martinez, what's going on there? Have we, don't stick up for him, but have we kicked Maguire to the curb too quick? Like, a lot of things will be asked and questioned after that kind of performance. Do we need to fight a bit more? Just fight. We need, me and you, I think, were talking about Andy Robertson the other day. And I think we said, he's naughty, innit? He just wants to fight.
I know.
There's a couple of times where he just ran into Anthony. Let's have and that gets you going. It gets the crowd going. It's almost like a goal. Yeah. It's like a goal. It gets the crowd pumped up. And Liverpool got a few of those. They weren't on their game for the whole of the season, but Jordan Henderson's going to fight. He brought on Milner, Klopp did, and Milner went straight at Anthony.
Yeah.
Tackled him straight away and then went kind of nose to nose. I was like,
he did that on purpose as well. He
100%.
came on to do that, didn't he?
To provoke him.
Yeah.
And I thought, perfect.
Yeah.
Because Milner looked at him like, yeah.
I can't think of another occurrence where a rival, 2 rivals, one of them have melted so readily, and simultaneously the other one have been so ready to swoop in and demolish. Like there will be songs sung about this on the COP for eternity. There will be T-shirts printed.
I tweeted this, and people kind of said, what are you talking about? I was like, you've lost to your fiercest rivals in the most watched game, watched sporting match in the world. Liverpool Man United is massive. I go to Africa a lot. It's the biggest thing in Africa. You go to Asia, it's the biggest game. It's Liverpool, Manchester United. You've been smashed 7-0. This will be sung about for years to come. It will be. And I'm so happy for the likes of Darwin Núñez and Gakpo, who've been critiqued, and I've openly critiqued them. And Gakpo showed me something yesterday, you know.
Oh, mate.
That third goal, yeah?
The chip.
Oh. I'm
exquisite.
like, I've got this wrong. Because if that's in your locker, so I know that's there, there's a player there.
It was exquisite, wasn't it?
Exquisite.
Yeah, it was a truly, truly beautiful moment. Look, in terms of what this means, last season, Manchester United lost to Liverpool 9-0 on aggregate.
Yeah, jeez, I forgot that. 5-0, 5-1, 4-0.
Exactly, right? 9 on aggregate, right? This is 7. And, you know, off the back of what happened last year, they bounced back. They've had a good season. They've won a trophy. Do you think that this team is going to be resilient enough to bounce back again? Or is this going to knock the stuffing out of them?
If it was Ralph Rangnick or Ollie at the wheel, I'd say it'd knock the stuffing right out of them. There is something about Ten Hag. He has that stature and bullish kind of persona about him. Doesn't go hiding, says what he needs to say. He spoke to what Jeff Shreve's after, and there's something about him that makes me feel like he'll look at some of the players, and in his head already, he's thinking in the summer. I think he's watched it and thought, in the summer, you're not here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He won't say it,
Yeah.
but in the summer, he's already made his mind up like, you're gone.
How do you feel about Bruno Fernandes yesterday?
Rubbish.
Bad one.
Rubbish.
Bad.
And look, there's a few things he did. There's one where Konate just accidentally hit his chin a little, and he's rolling around and folding. And then, I didn't know if this happened, but everyone seemed to say it happened, where he's asking to be substituted. I think, I don't know who came. I think Elanga came on, the last substitute, and he's almost looking like, why have I not been taken off?
He asked to be subbed. He asked to be subbed.
And he points at players. He just points like, you should be there. I'm like, no, you should be there.
Yeah.
Captain, him.
Yeah. Do you think... I think that's worthy of a dropping.
Get rid of him.
I think... It's difficult because he's also a very good player. He's having a very good season.
Yeah.
But that, in its own right, I think a lesson needs to be... It'd be interesting to see. So, Manchester United, they play Betis in Europe, they play Southampton.
Yeah.
Give me your prediction, not in terms of score, but in terms of results.
Should beat both of them.
You think they win 2?
Should beat both of them. Southampton are a weird one, you know. Jekyll and Hyde. Southampton, obviously beat you boys. Then got knocked out of the cup by Grimsby. Then beat Leicester at St Mary's. They're a weird one because they're fighting for their lives. And again, there has to be a bit of a hangover from United of this result. There has to be. You're human. You've just been battered 7.
Yeah.
There has to be a spill. If they had Southampton next, I'd say maybe, you know, you never know. But I think because they've got Betis and then Southampton, I think Southampton are going to get a battering.
But mate, isn't it weird how football goes? Everything's been so rosy for Manchester United. They've been getting it so right. They were up until very recently in fact, they still are. Well, no, they can't win the league anymore. But they could have won every single trophy. Yeah. They were fighting a war on 4 fronts, effectively. Exactly. Yeah. All of a sudden, say Betis beat them off the back of... It's not the scoreline for me. It's the lack of fight in a fixture against Liverpool that I think is concerning. So it'll be very interesting to see if...
Mate, understand something as well, by the way. They didn't score yesterday.
No.
They didn't score.
No.
So it wasn't a 7-2 where you can feel, okay, still got a couple of goals. Rashford hit... They did not score yesterday.
Also, 7
and that's a Wout Weghorst concern for me. Because and the reason I mentioned Wout, look, not the best game. Has he ever played well? I'm not quite sure. But he does stuff defensively, I hear all the time.
He's great as a number 10. He frees up Rashford. They're talking about him at Wembley last
You've
week.
got to score goals, mate.
I agree.
So sometimes I was watching that game yesterday thinking, okay, if Rashford doesn't score for them, who are we fearing here? Anthony?
Yeah.
Casemiro? I mean, like they need someone to help Rashford with the goals, by the way.
Yeah, I agree.
Because if it's not him, who is it?
Be interesting to see how they recover from this. If Ten Hag, and look, everything he's done so far, he's got right. Yeah. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt. He will galvanise the team. He will make the changes. He will educate, and they will move forward.
But he got it wrong.
He got it wrong as well.
He got it wrong, and he needs to be not held accountable. But people need to say, 1 second, you got it wrong.
Yeah.
Like we're no managers, right? But that Darwin Núñez one, that left side, Liverpool destroyed. Andy Robertson and Darwin Núñez versus Diego Dallo and Anthony. Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's a mismatch.
Complete mismatch. We're going to destroy you.
Yeah,
Robbo's got too much energy for Anthony.
Yeah.
And Darwin Núñez is too strong, too fast, and too aggressive for Dallo.
Yeah.
Wan-Bissaka's got to play.
Yeah.
And he got that completely wrong.
I agree.
He's not good going forward, but defensively, Darwin Núñez ain't going to have much joy out of him. Got it wrong completely.
It was shambolic. So will this and the impact of this historic result derail Manchester United? I guess time will tell.
I hope it does.
Let's find out. Thank you all so much for watching this video. We really do appreciate it. Please, in the comments below, let us know your thoughts. Do you think that Manchester United will recover? Will Ten Hag get it right? Will Luke Shaw be okay after that humiliation? Or is this going to be very, very significant? Before you go, please make sure that you subscribe to Adi Oladipo's YouTube channel. The link is in the description below. See you all in a bit. Cheers.